What if I told you there's a hidden guide to life, a secret map for every single age and every emotion we go through? For more than half a century, one of the world's greatest lyricists was, well, secretly charting it, one song at a time. And tonight, we're going to explore that map.
I mean, we all do, right? You wish there was some kind of guide to navigate all the confusion, the joy, the really tough questions of just being human. Well, what if I told you that map, it actually exists?
Now, this isn't some dusty old scroll we found in a cave. Nope, this is a modern masterpiece, and it was crafted over a lifetime by a single brilliant mind who basically set out to create a philosophical song for every single stage of human existence.
And the scale of this thing is it's staggering. We're talking about over 5,000 songs. Just think about that for a second. That's a body of work so huge, it literally provides a thematic map for pretty much every part of life. From the cradle right to the grave. So, how do we even begin to read it?
Well, before we can start the journey, we're going to need the key. The entire map is meant to be viewed through two fundamental lenses, two totally different ways of looking at the world that shaped this poet's entire career and really informed every single lesson.
So this breaks it down pretty clearly. These are the two worldviews that define the entire map. On one side, you've got the rationalist lens. Think of this as the rebel. It's all about self-worth, defiance, focusing on the here and now. But on the other side, you have the spiritual lens, the sage. And this one is all about detachment, stepping back, and seeing the big picture. Every single stage of life we're about to explore is seen through one of these two powerful perspectives.
And with that key, our journey begins. We're going to start in the morning of life, exploring our arrival and our earliest, most formative years. So the map begins at the very first moment of our existence. And the core idea here isn't just about being born. It's about what that arrival actually means. The poet calls it sovereign arrival. This quote, wow, it really gets to the heart of the lesson. The message is simple but profound. You are not an accident. Your birth is an essential event, an occasion that the entire universe has been waiting for. It's this radical, powerful affirmation of your individual worth from the very first breath you take.
Okay, let's move to the next stage and see how this idea builds. From the sovereignty of birth, we enter childhood, which this map defines by one key activity, Socratic inquiry.
And the crucial point here is that learning isn't something that just happens to you. For this poet, true understanding, real growth, it comes from being relentlessly curious. The engine of our evolution as people is having the courage to ask 1,000 questions.
All right, now we enter the afternoon of life. And this is where things start to get a little more complicated. We're going to tackle the universal challenges of crisis, of responsibility, and of course, the ego.
One thing about this map is that it doesn't shy away from the hard parts. Not at all. It dedicates a whole stage to crisis, acknowledging that mental turmoil, that feeling of being completely lost and confused, is a core part of the adult experience for everyone. And here's the beautiful insight that it offers as a tool for getting through it. The lyricist doesn't see confusion as a failure. Instead, it's framed as a necessary step. It's like the drunkenness of the mind that has to happen before you can find sobriety. It's the fog you absolutely have to walk through to find that clear path waiting on the other side.
So as we find our footing, maybe achieve a little bit of success, the map warns us about the very next big challenge, social maturity. And right along with it comes the ego trap.
Now this is one of the most powerful metaphors in the entire collection. The poet compares our status to a snake that's resting on a god's neck. Think about it. The snake is only respected because of where it is. Its position, not its own self, is what gives it authority. But the crucial lesson is that this position is always temporary. True security, the poet tells us, comes from humility, not from whatever fleeting power you think you hold.
Okay, let's move into the final chapters of the map. Part 3, The Evening of Life. This is where we explore the wisdom gained through a lifetime of experience, the hard reality of loss, and the true nature of our departure.
As we get closer to the end, the map gives us a really stark, unflinching look at our relationships. It calls this stage the final inventory, and it's like a sober audit of all our earthly bonds and their absolute limits.
This part just breaks down the boundaries of human connection so methodically. Your family, they come with you, but only to the door. Your spouse, maybe the closest person in the world to you, only makes it to the street. Your own child, they'll see you to the funeral pyre, but after that, The journey is solitary. It's only your soul that journeys to the very, very end.
So, after that sobering inventory, what's the final lesson? Well, the map presents its ultimate philosophy for facing mortality, and it's called radical detachment.
This final quote reframes life and death not as these huge emotional events, but as a simple transaction. Life is a loan, a credit you're given at birth. Death is just you repaying that debt. And you know, it's actually a really powerful tool for letting go, because if you see it this way, you realize that nothing you lose was ever truly yours to keep in the first place.
So, we've walked the entire path, from birth to departure. But what are the timeless truths that hold this whole map together? While the poet leaves us with a kind of compass, made of 4 guiding principles.
These are really the philosophical pillars of the whole thing. First, the law of consequences. Pretty simple, you reap what you sow. Second, the transience of ownership. We're all just passengers here, not owners. Third, the dual nature of reality. Life is this balanced ledger of joy and sorrow. And finally, and maybe most importantly, the childlike heart. Mercy is what makes us divine, while greed turns us into beasts. These 4 ideas, they're the true north of this entire map.
You see, this incredible body of work doesn't just describe life, it offers a guide for actually living it. It lays out all the stages, the pitfalls, the wisdom you earn along the way. The map is in your hands now. So the only question left to ask is, where will you step next?